It looks like everybody has signed on. So, Elise, I will let you kick us off with our first slide. If you can jump in and share what kind of what
Will
we're looking
do. Will do. Thanks, Jenny. Well, hello, everyone. My name is Elise Long, and Jenny and I will be giving this webinar today about the Job Fair Survival Guide and exactly what that entails. It's just the most wonderful time of the year, and I'm not talking about Christmas. I'm talking about the career fair. And here we're going to walk through what to expect, talking about researching the different employers before you go into it. We're going to talk about resume preparation. We're going to talk about that elevator pitch and, of course, that dress for success. So, and if there are any questions at the very end, we will definitely address those too. So let's get going to learn how to ace this job fair.
awesome.
Okay, so the some speakers today are going to be me, Elise Long. I am a recruiter here at ACDS, and I also help with our work-based learning program, which is essentially like our internship. It's a 3-month internship here with our employers and everything. And then Jenny Sales, she's also a recruiter. She helps with our apprenticeship program, which is full-time employment with an employer for about a year. And then after that, like you're still employed with the employer, but we kind of just let go of our reins after that. And then some of our additional team members that are on this call, we have Amanda Chaplin, who is the manager for work-based learning. We have Katie Rains, who is part of our Reskill program. She is just kind of giving you the training resources. So we do have access to Google Coursera and our Reimagine program as well. And then Nicole Parsons, who also is in charge of our apprenticeship program. And then our director, Ashley French, she is not on the call today, but she's here with us in spirit. She is definitely our leader in all that we do. So we miss her, but she's definitely here with us.
Awesome. Thank you, Elise. So, about ACDS, we back in 2017 were founded through the Blue Ribbon Commission to, train and retain, and charged with training and retaining the talent, IT talent in the state of Arkansas through apprenticeships. And so we partner with small and large companies across the state of Arkansas through apprenticeship programs. And now we've expanded to work-based learning. And we also have our reskill program. So leading the charge to fill IT and grow IT in the state of Arkansas. When you're talking about, job fair and, what that looks like, what's the purpose of having a job fair? Obviously, we know it's to get it's to network, to get a job. But, there's a lot of reasons. It benefits you, it benefits the employers. There's a lot more just than applying for a job. Speaking of job fairs, there's a couple that will be attending here, one in Little Rock at Euler on October 12th, and then at University of Arkansas Pine Bluff on October 4th. It's a great opportunity for you to exhibit and practice some of the things you learn here today by joining us at these job fairs. But just keep in mind, why should you attend? Because it's a great way to network. Even within, you know, job fair, if you don't get a offer from that job fair this time, they still have your resume. It's still on file. It's still connected to that employer when you drop it off. Also, that's connected is everything that you did while you were there. So, Elise is going to share with you a little bit more in the preparation area about like what best practices there are. Um, Scope out your future employers. This is also a great place for you to learn, is this the employer I want to work for? This is not just about them hiring you or interviewing you, learn about you. This is a place for you to learn about them as well and learn more about the future employer that you would have an opportunity to work with. It also gives you a sense of confidence. Every time you practice either interviewing or going out and meet and greet and doing some networking, it helps your confidence and knowing how to speak to what you know. It's hard. We are all in a situation sometimes where, it's not as easy and we always self-doubt. So, doing these things really help us with that self-confidence. Um, the other benefits, get to meet lots of employers. You get your resume out there, and it's also a great way to explore about opportunities within companies. Right.
All right. Okay, thanks, Jenny. Okay, let's talk about preparation. Jenny just walked through the purpose. Now, how do we prepare for the career fairs or any type of job fair that we might be attending this fall semester? First, do your research, okay? So let's just take the two examples that Jenny just used, UAPB and University of Arkansas Little Rock. Some of those job fairs, you can just look on Handshake or even go to the school's respected website. And from there, it'll have a list of all the different employers that will be there. And you can kind of just see based on your skill set, what companies I should go up to or what types of jobs those companies are hiring. You can just, go on to the website of that particular employer and kind of just go to the career page and just that way you have an idea of not only the employers, but the types of positions they're hiring for. So when you go into the career fair, you're just like, hi, recruiter A, I've been looking at this job and these are my skill sets and my resume. Like, how can I, further know more about this company? So I definitely want everyone to do their research about the employer. Second, set up a digital business card. That is, for the types of employers that kind of just have everything on QR codes and everything can just be automatically transformed into their database. We do have a app that we kind of recommend. It's called Hi Hello, in which you can just kind of just briefly put a little synopsis about yourself. But also always have a digital resume ready to go to be emailed to the employer. And I always want to emphasize, make sure that resume is in a PDF format. Make sure that when you save that resume, it is like your first name, last name resume. I mean, I'm quick to always just save my resume as resume because it's my computer and I'm sending it. But think about all the types of candidates and students that company is going to be meeting that day. They want to be able to quickly distinguish, oh, that was that person that I talked to that day. And just in case, like, let's just say you printed out so many resumes, but you gave out all of them. An employer's okay if you just email them right on the spot, get the respected employer's email address and shoot it right across. But my two things, make sure it's a PDF and make sure you save it as your first name, last name, resume if you want. That way, when the employer gets back to their email, they're like, oh, yep, I remember they said they were going to send it to me. And then I also want to encourage, if you have to email a resume, do it as soon as possible. Step away from the booth, step outside. But the minute you get in your car and go home, you might forget. Like, you had to go to the grocery store. Maybe you got pulled over on the way home, God forbid, but you're just probably not going to fully remember to send that resume. So just do it as soon as possible. Next, we want to prep ourselves. We want to get plenty of rest the night before. We want to pick out our clothes, and we will go through what types of attire to wear for all of that. And then make sure you just have your stuff ready. So make sure you print however many resumes you think you may have. A job fair might have anywhere to 30 to maybe 50 types of employers, but you probably don't qualify for all of those employers there. So just print out however many you think you might need. Some tables have 2 recruiters at a table. If you feel like you need to print off 2 for each one, then go ahead. But also, I recommend this. Bring a tote bag. Everyone knows that these tables have nothing but swag, whether it's a stretch ball, a stress ball, a pen, a notebook. And, they want to give that out to you. So you always remember when you're writing down any type of notes, like, oh, this company gave this to me. Let me do some more research on them. But when you go from table to table, you have all this stuff and kind of employers don't like you putting the stuff on the table. So bring a small little tote bag that you can just put all that stuff in and just kind of carry it and all of that, make it a little bit neater. And then we want to print our resume. So I know I said the PDF digital business card, but we still do like a hand copy of your resume. So be able to have that printed. it's always kind of a toss-up whether or not you should print it on resume paper or regular paper. I have always gone with the resume paper, but I have noticed that it doesn't really matter in today's world, but we do like it printed. We just want to have, easy access to it and all of that, but make sure, and as we go through some more into this, what to include on the resume, just, make sure you have, all of your education, achievements, any certifications on there. I also want to mention that if you're a tech person and you've just never, you have like some side projects and you're like, maybe how can I beef up my resume some more? I want to give a little plug out to some things that are coming up in the Little Rock area. We have a Jolt coming up. It's like kind of a hackathon, just a nice little tech nerd out sesh, October 6th through the 8th in Little Rock. If you want some more information, don't be afraid to email us on that. And then we also have the Razor Hackathon in Northwest Arkansas for any of our Northwest people, November 3rd through the November 5th. And you can register for all of that. That will give you a chance to say, hey, I competed in this. And that way, when you go meet these people at the table, you can definitely say, hey, I did this and it was awesome. And it just, further fueled my love for this world of tech and just kind of just stand out. So we always want to put things on our resume that helps us stand out a little bit more, which transitions into our elevator pitch. So imagine if you had that on your resume and you can put that in your elevator pitch. You want like a quick summary of your skills and the positions you're kind of going for, because it is a career fair and there's so many people. I always say, make your elevator pitch about 10 seconds, 10 to 15 seconds. When you're actually in an interview, we want the elevator pitch to be a little bit longer, maybe 30 to a minute. So just kind of cut that in half for the career fair. But just prep your elevator pitch, do it in the mirror, write it down if you need to, have some note cards, anything that helps prepare you for the career fair. Okay, what to expect. So you did all that preparation the night before, you got your resume, you put it in a folder, you got your clothes out. Now it's the day of the career fair. What am I to expect? So for anyone who has like sensory overload, I pay attention because career fairs can get a little stressful. So you're probably in a gym type size room, a conference room, and there's like tables like next to each other and it feels like less than 6 feet than the recommended amount. So it's going to be busy, a lot of moving pieces and all of that. It can get overwhelming at times, but just remain calm and all of that. Be polite. Politeness is totally key. You're going to be moving around different people, and it can get a little testy sometimes, but I always want to remind people that employers can see your face. So if you feel like someone might have cut you or, cut you off or something or pushed you or shoved you, just take deep breaths and just politely stay in line. So all of that. So the bigger types of companies, so let's just take Arkansas, for example. Let's just say Walmart's in town or JB Hunt or Blue Cross Blue Shield. Those are our high profile companies in the state of Arkansas. They're going to have a little bit of a longer wait time. If you have already mapped out the different types of companies that you want to meet that day, why not just go over to the smaller ones for now? You can get a little bit more face time with them, especially if they're not that busy. And then when you have built up the patience, go back over to Walmart and kind of introduce yourself and all of that. I do want to say, if you want to avoid the high profile lines and companies and all of that, get there early, get there when they open. If the career fair starts at noon, get there at 11:30, 11:45 and just kind of wait till it opens. That way you don't even have to worry about all this busy stuff or the lines or anything like that. But for those that can't, because it happens, just know that these are some things to expect. And then last but not least, it's going to be kind of loud. You've got, like I said, anywhere between 30 to 50 companies in a room and everyone is so close to one another. It can get a little distracting. And I know, especially for me, I always feel like I hear other conversations when I need to be here. But just know it's going to get a little loud and a little hard to hear. So just you're not trying to yell at the recruiter, but you're definitely trying to, have them hear. And maybe the recruiter might even get closer to you. And it's just so they can focus on you and what you're saying. So it's going to get a little overwhelming, but take a deep breath and all of that. So yeah.
Awesome. So how do you stand out in the crowd? If every resume looks the same and every person is dressing the same and we're all kind of, how do you stand out? You know, I think that a couple of things that are super important is to know your individualization. So be able to speak to why this company wants to hire you. Recruiters are always watching, so mind your manners. Make sure that, you're being polite when you're standing in line. Make sure that your confidence, even though sometimes you're scared inside, and that's okay. It's totally normal. We're all scared inside. I'm scared inside right now. The key piece that's important is to show confidence. So just remember that everybody else is feeling the same way as you are right now, but just push through, keep a smile on your face and keep moving forward. Dress for success. That's super important. Dress for the job that you want, not for the job that you have. Um, I was always that little girl that always wanted to wear the fancy clothes, and my dad was like, "No, we can't afford it, blue jeans, girl." So it was not hard for me to want to dress for success when it came down to it. But there's lots of ways to do that. You can go to Goodwill and shop, and sometimes our budgets are tight, but think about ways that you could be prepared for that moment. Don't use your phone in line. It's all, it's right here. It's easy. It's hard not to look down at, but it's really rude when a recruiter's trying to talk to you and they think, oh, she's not that interested because she's looking at what's on her phone. So make sure you keep your phone in your pocket or in your purse. Only take it out if they're asking you to, maybe do a QR code, or if they're asking you to put something in your phone for future reference. If you do need to send an email or a text, go stand outside the room or away from where the recruiters are, so that you don't look rude, or it could be taken out of context. Even it may be a very important thing that you need to learn, but from that text, but make sure it's outside so that because they don't know, they're only seeing the outside view. Walk with purpose. Don't be afraid to approach a person or a booth and introduce yourself. Keep in mind that recruiter that's talking to you has been in your shoes. They're human just like you are, and it's okay. But just push forward, put your hand out there and say, "Hey, my name is," and I promise it'll come a little easier as you go. One other key thing I know we kind of talked about earlier: research. Elise kind of touched on it a little bit earlier. It's super important, especially when you come to your elevator speech. How do you want to present yourself? If you are interviewing for a position and it's an analyst role, and you have maybe a lot of education in something else, let's not talk about that. Let's talk about what you know, or the education or the experience, or maybe the project you worked on in your that deals with maybe SQL, or maybe an advanced Excel, or how you link workbooks together, or how you use Python to automate something. But real quick, you don't have time to tell the whole book or your whole life story. It needs to be a short and sweet, but it needs to be eye catching or ear catching as to, why do I want to call her back? This position I have, it demands that they have SQL experience, and we're going to teach them about Power BI, or we're going to teach them about Tableau or React. Well, make sure that you talk to them about the experience you have, introduce yourself and talk about, why it is that they want to connect with you. But keep it short and sweet, because there's a lot of people behind you, and you don't want them to remember the one thing about you is that you told them the whole life story. Just condense it. You're going to have an opportunity to talk to them about more of your experience. This is just kind of a snippet, kind of like when you saw the previews for Yellowstone, kind of the same thing. You're just giving a snippet of why they want to call you. Oops, Elise.
All right. Okay, so we walked through the different types of elevator pitches. Let's talk about the general booth etiquette, and stuff like that. So remember what I said about the day. It's going to be kind of loud and crazy. Just be patient. Recruiters are definitely, they see the line. They themselves are a little overwhelmed by that too, but they are trying to get through everyone and give everyone their attention. But just please, like I said, remember, we can see your face, even if we haven't gotten a chance to talk to you yet. And we can definitely see the manners amongst the lines as well. So sometimes we have seen people just kind of cut in, not really understanding that there was a line before. We see that, but and recruiters will definitely redirect the flow if need be. But just be patient and just have a smile on the whole time, because remember, we can see your face before we even get to meet you. So then by the time you get up to us, kind of like what Jenny just last said, just keep it short and sweet when it comes to that elevator pitch. Sometimes recruiters, if they're like really engaged, they'll continue to ask questions. And at that point, it would be rude to kind of walk away. But if you have any additional questions, and we kind of get down to this and in our last couple bullet points, but grab one of their cards and shoot an email to them if you have any additional questions. So just remember, keep it short and sweet. Just kind of give them like, hi, my name is, and these are my skill sets, and I've researched the company a little bit, and I really saw this data analyst position. Can you tell me more? Just quick, easy. And then when you get up there, remember I said, bring that tote bag. Do not set anything down on their table. They already have their swag there. They don't need, 70 other company swag, while you're trying to, thimble through and get a resume. So, bring that tote bag. Bring. And then when it's all said and done, after you've given that last handshake, ask for a business card. If you don't see it on the table, ask for one. And if they don't have any, make sure you get down an email address to kind of continue on the conversation and build the rapport and the relationship. We'll definitely talk about in the next slide the follow-up and all of that. So definitely grab a business card. And then just as you're leaving, express that gratitude again. Give that handshake in the beginning and give that handshake at the end, and just thank them for taking the time to not only be there, but to meet with you. And then in our last kind of topic, the follow-up. We definitely want to send that email saying, hey, it was so nice to meet you. Even if you gave them a hard copy of your resume, send that PDF version. Remember, first, last name, PDF version of that resume, and just kind of say like, hi, I'm so-and-so, and it was so great to meet you at this career fair. Be as detailed and specific as you possibly can. I was reviewing the company some more, the company's website, and I saw that based on my skill sets, I qualify maybe for these 3 to 5 positions. You can review my resume and let me know. And then include like a summary and what you guys talked about. Following up definitely puts another leg forward in the kind of conversation, because remember, these recruiters are the recruiters that will probably interview you and the ones that will refer you to higher up. And just remember, like, wow, they were so on top of it. They kept up with me. It might seem a little annoying, but that's a recruiter's job. We're supposed to be bombarded with all of your 50 million emails and all of that. But it shows that you're dedicated. It shows that, hey, maybe this person's a hard worker. They're truly dedicated and they're really interested in this company and maybe bettering it. And so it would be really cool. So definitely apply. And if you can, at the last bullet point says, if there's like a job ID associated with the job that you're looking at, don't be afraid, because it helps them kind of narrow that down a little bit. There could be a data analyst, but sometimes some people have different tiers, like 1, 2, 3. Which one do you truly qualify? Are you tier 1? Are you tier 2? So just be as detailed and specific as you possibly can. And again, at the end of the email, just thank them once again for their time and all of that. But just send the first email. Unfortunately, sometimes recruiters, their emails do kind of explode and they may not get back. Don't take that to heart. It's just people get busy and a little overwhelming, but just send that one email. Also, for those who have LinkedIn, go ahead and start updating that LinkedIn profile. Get that headshot. It doesn't have to be professional, but as long as you can at least be in a nice suit, a clear background and everything. Just even if your friend can take, you know, how they say shot on an iPhone, if your friend can do a nice iPhone picture, just go ahead and start updating that resume, or that LinkedIn profile, excuse me. And then find those recruiters on LinkedIn and send the same message to their LinkedIn messages. Just follow up, being a little tenacious and all of that. So don't think you're annoying them. Just do it one time and move on, and all of that. So hope these tips were definitely helpful for you guys, and we'll move on to our question portion of this. So does anyone have any questions?
See a couple in the chat, so let me check some of those. Nita asked if we could post our resume if we can't attend. I'm 3 hours out from Little Rock. Do you mean for the job fair, or for the job fair? Absolutely. I mean, you have a whole profile with us and your updated resume, so absolutely. But if you see a job on our website, apply to that position. If you look at a job on our website and you go, I have those skills and I'm matching that thing, apply to that job on our website, because those are the jobs that we are going to also be looking for when we're at the job fairs. But absolutely. It looks like also Nicole put in the link that there is a job fair up in Northwest Arkansas. If you know, these are great resources to connect with other people. It's also a great place to practice and to learn and to kind of find out what you do and don't want to work with, what kind of companies you don't want to work with. So definitely be checking out some of those job fairs. How do we find out about job fairs? A lot of word of mouth, a lot of advertisement that we see. Sometimes it'll be through Handshake. One of the or one of the other colleges will post on their websites. There's a lot of them posted on Indeed. The Arkansas Workforce Development site also posts the job fairs that they're involved with, and in your area.
It just maybe to clarify Nita's question a little bit, maybe she's asking if there's an employer that she's interested in at a specific job fair and she can't attend. I would send your resume if you can, find a recruiter and find their email address and just kind of state that, hi, my name is Nita. I'm 3 hours away from, say, University of Arkansas Little Rock's job fair. I saw that your company is coming. I'm unable to attend. Here's my resume, and just state some jobs that you were looking at. If you go to the University of Arkansas Little Rock's careers website, or just do a Google search, Euler Job Fair 2023 or Fall 2023, they will have a list of employers that are attending. And then from there, you can do your necessary research on which jobs, what employers you qualify for, and kind of send your emails and resumes from there. Hope that helps.
Awesome. Any other questions? Well, thank you guys for joining us on our webinar today. Keep in mind, things change daily, and keep an eye on our job site. Also, keep an eye on, like if you, one other thing, if you see a job fair posted that you want to attend to that's you're not close to, look at the jobs. Usually they'll post the job names or the company's names. Go to their websites and check out what they have on site on their webs as well. That might be another way to apply for those positions. All right. Any other questions? Well, thank you guys for attending our job strategies. And if there's any questions you guys might have or might need, reach out to us. And we want to thank you for your time and have a great day.